Hello, VIP Kid teacher in the making. My name is Kristina Garcia, also known by many of my favorite people as Teacher Tina. So I started with VIP Kid in July of 2017, and I have grown to love it so much. So I spend my mornings teaching and the rest of my day helping people get hired and get started teaching and to continue to do wonderful jobs with their students. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough for you for the letter P mock lesson. So this is a 10-minute lesson, and keep in mind that you may be asked to do the letter X or the letter P. Some mock class mentors let you choose, some choose for you. So be sure that you prepare for both lessons. Okay, so what do you need to have in front of you during this walkthrough? I suggest that you have the slides in front of you. So I have found that many people like to share the screen so half of the screen or part of the screen will be my video and the other part will be the slides. If that makes the text on the slides too small for your eyes, then you can definitely pull up the video in one device like on a tablet and the slides on the computer, whatever you can do to work. But you want to have the slides and you want to have the objectives too. You can find those in the certification center. Okay, so you want the slides, you want the objectives because they're very, very important, and then you also want to have a notebook or a whiteboard or something because I have a hunch that you're going to want to take some notes. At least I hope so. Psst, are you looking for a walkthrough for the letter X lesson too? You're in luck. I also have a video for that one. The link is in the description below, or if you wait until the end of this video, you can simply click on it on the end screen. So upon editing this video, I realized I had gotten so detailed in my explanations and in my examples for you that the video had gotten really long, and I was worried about you maybe not being able to absorb it, not because you're not smart, but because it's a lot of information. So I decided to split it into two sections. So right now you are watching section 1, which covers slides 1 through 7. What I suggest is that you finish this video and take a break, practice, and then move on to section 2, which covers slides 8 through 12, okay? Or you can watch them back to back if you want, whatever you choose to do, but I decided to break it into easier chunks for you. And you can even pause after each slide that we cover and practice it for yourself. That's a great way to learn. All right, let's get started. Slide 1, the intro slide. So this is basically just you telling your student your name, asking for your student's name, and building some rapport before you jump into the lesson. So the slide is very simple. It just says letter P on it, okay? So here's an example of how I might teach this slide. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello! Hi! My name is Teacher Tina. Tina. Good job. What is your name? Nava? Nava, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you. My name is Nava. Wow, good job, Nava. Nava, how old are you? How old are you? Are you 4 years old? 5 years old? 5? Good. I am 5 years old. I am 5 years old. Wow, great job, Nava. Great job. You are so clever. Good. Nava, underline letter P. Letter P. Letter P. Good. Click to the next slide. Okay, so before I move on though, let's be real. Most teachers, let alone people in the hiring process, don't have sweatshirts that say their names on it, right? So I'm going to take this off and do it again for you without relying on my jacket, right? It's nice because the name is right where a name tag would normally be, but most kids don't understand the concept of name tags anyway. So let me teach that again, like you probably will want to teach it without a sweatshirt. Okay, so let me back up, and remember your student is 5 years old, so you want to keep it simple and you want to speak in a clear, slow voice. Okay, let's start again. Hello! My name is Teacher Tina. Teacher Tina. 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 Wow, good job. What is your name? Nava? Hi, Nava. My name is Nava. Good. My name is Nava. Wow, good job, Nava. It's nice to meet you. Yes. Nava, how old are you? How old are you? Are you 4 years old? 5 years old? Good! I am 5 years old. Wow, Nava! Great job! Nava, click to the next slide. When you do a good job, you get a treat. Whoop. Num 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 num. Good job. So I just showed you an easy way to transition from the first slide to the next slide. So it was a little bit different because in the first example that I gave you, when I had the jacket on, I introduced the name letter P on the slide. Not all teachers like to do that. Some mentors ask for it or look for it. Some mentors don't really care. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. Just know that every mentor likes something a little different. So if you forget a part when you're doing the intro, just keep rolling with it, okay? It's just like when you're dancing. I don't know if you're a dancer. I have a background in dance, and if I ever forgot a step, I would just pick up on the next step, right? Because if you get flustered and start to try to do the step that you missed, you're behind and you're starting to get more flustered and you're missing more things. So just pick up on the next one, okay? So I showed you how to transition smoothly from the first slide to the next one. So basically when I was saying, good job, Nava, right? I like to use my student's name. Good job, Nava. When you do a good job, click, you get this. And note that you don't have to use the reward system that is in the slide, okay? So I prefer, and most of my referrals prefer, to use their own reward system. I've seen people use all kinds of cool reward systems, types of sports balls, like a racetrack that people can go on. The possibilities are endless. This is kind of a favorite with my real students, just a bag of sweets. So I have donuts, I have ice cream. Well, I don't want to give it all away. I have all kinds of treats in here. So I just recommend that you use a reward system that you're happy with. So on slide number 2, you're just very simply introducing your reward system. So something like, Nava, when you do a good job, you get whoop, a fish, or you get whoop, a this or a that, and definitely bring it up close. Food is kind of fun because it kind of breaks down the walls if your student is feeling a little nervous or something. Everyone likes to eat ice cream, right? So if you're eating ice cream and being silly with it and then you give it to your student, that's just kind of a fun thing to kick off your class, okay? So then I pop it up there. I like to leave one on so they remember what they're working for, and then I move on to the next slide. So you may notice I have a good bit of glare on my Teacher Tina sign. I'm going to take it down. So typically when I teach my classes, I don't have an issue with glare because I don't have that much window light coming through. So it's really nice for my videos because usually I have good lighting, but in my classes, I usually don't have an issue with glare. So I'm going to take that down so as not to distract you. All right, so moving on to slide 3. For slide 3, I recommend that you have a flashcard. It can be a flashcard that you make yourself, but you want to have a big P and a small p, okay? A big P and a small p. So here's an example of how I might teach this slide. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Nava, big P. Big P. Good. Small p. Small p. Good job. Big P. Small p. Good. P, underline P, underline P. P makes the sound P. Good job. Very good, Nava. Click to slide 4. For slide 4, I suggest that you have your own board like this. It can be on paper if you're willing to recreate it many times when you practice, or you could even do it on paper and then have some kind of plastic sleeve on it. Whatever you want to do, a whiteboard seems to work the best, but it's totally up to you. I also have this tool. I got this idea from teacher Fatima, and basically all it is a picture of a mouse with a marker on the end. So kind of cool to show the student that I want the student to be using the screen. Okay, so again, we are on slide number 4, and it's just the big P and the small p, and it's outlined. Okay, so I did that here. You can use a wet erase marker or a dry erase marker, whatever you choose to use on here. Okay, so let me show you how I suggest teaching this one. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Nava. Big P. Good. What is this? Small p. Good job, Nava. Look. Whoop. Wow. Big P. Go to my screen. Use the mouse. Big P. Big P. Good. Nava, can you write small p? Small p? Wow, good job, Nava. Small p. Very good, Nava. You get a treat. A popsicle. Popsicle. Very good. Yes, Nava. Okay, so some notes about slides 3 and 4. I like to kind of smoothly transition between those two. That's why I kind of, mixed them together. Well, not mixed them together, but I kind of transitioned for you. So back to letter P, the third slide, okay? So I definitely suggest having some kind of flashcard, like I said. You can also do, in addition, I wouldn't say instead of a flashcard, but you can also do your body, use your body for big P and small p. Just remember that everything is reversed in the classroom, okay? Everything is reversed. So when you're thinking about spelling things or, making a letter, always use your right hand first. Right is right. Right hand first, okay? So when I'm making a P, it's like this and like that, okay? If you think it's going to confuse you and throw you off your game, you can stick to this and stick to underlining or circling on the screen. That is perfectly fine, okay? And something to notice, of course, we use big P and small p. In VIPKID, we do not use little p. So I can pretty much guarantee that if you accidentally say little p, it's not the end of the world, but your mentor will tell you so that once you start teaching your students, you're consistent with the other teachers. Okay, so big P, small p, have your student repeat you a few times, you can change your voice, and then you also want to introduce the letter sound, okay? I like to use a tissue because it shows that it's kind of a voiceless letter. So when you make that sound, you should be able to move a tissue with it, okay? It's a little bit forceful. So, of course, you don't expect your student to just have a tissue sitting around, but it's a nice visual. So I will often, I'll show like that, and then to kind of take the place of the tissue, so I'm kind of reminding them that's what the tissue did. The tissue moved, and I'm moving my hand with my noise, okay? It's important to note that it's not a P sound. Okay, so do not make it P. Think of it as P. Very quick, very short, very forceful. Okay, because if you start introducing sounds with an sound, like P or B, it presents problems later on when your student is trying to blend. So like later on, if I had introduced it like P, they might be saying P-ig, right? Because even if you only introduce the P sound as P, they're probably going to think that they need an sound at the end of other sounds too. So it'll be P-ig, and that's just a whole can of worms. So be sure that you're not overemphasizing any sounds. Just make it very clear and short, and if you can, add some type of visual. Okay, that was slide 3, letter P. Moving on to slide 4, this is when I suggest that you have a small board or something like that. Okay, so I first showed my student using my nifty tool here. I like to also have a mouse. So even if it's not a mouse that you're actually using in the lesson, it's a nice visual so you can show your student that you are using the mouse. So all that they're looking for on this slide, well, one of the main things that your mentor is looking for is for you to use I do, we do, you do, that model. So basically I do, so as the teacher, I am simply showing. I'm simply demonstrating, right? This is a 5-year-old level 2 student. This student will not know if you say to the student something like, okay, Nava, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to take your mouse and you're going to do this and that. Whoa, too much incidental language. So we just show first. So I show, right? I like to tell my student, look, right? And use your student name, Nava, look. And you show with one, and then I'll pick up my mouse and I'll do it on the screen and we'll say the letter name. And then I'll move on to the next one. You can even ask your student, what do you see? Or what is this? Okay, if you want. If you think it's going to be too challenging, you can just say, small p, right? Move on. Okay, but you can start to write that one and then see if you can get your student to do it. So you're kind of doing it together and then have your student finish it like, I do, we do, you do. So you want to model this model throughout the entire lesson to make it easier for your student to pick up what you're doing. And it's a good refresher to also, say big P, small p on this one, and the P sound. Slide 5. This is where we start introducing vocabulary words. So our first word is panda. Panda. And I'm going to show you how I like to incorporate TPR and props and repetition when I'm teaching vocabulary. Okay, ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Underline panda on the screen. Panda. Good, Nava. Panda. Panda. Good, good, yes. Oh, panda. Good. Nava, look. Oh. Panda starts with P. Good. Panda starts with P. Good job, yes. Okay. What sound does panda start with? Panda starts with P. Wow, good job, Nava. Very good. Okay. And then I click to the next slide. So that's how I would suggest introducing it. I think it's nice to have a visual. I got this idea actually from one of my referrals, Nava, who I'm using her name today. She's actually a dear friend now too. So anyway, thanks Nava for the idea. But for starts with, that really doesn't make sense in their minds. And even if you were to write out the word starts with, that still doesn't really make sense to them. They're an early beginner with the English language. So having a visual is really helpful. So basically what I did, I first introduced panda, right? I underlined it on the screen so they knew what we were focusing on. Okay, panda. And then I introduced it with TPR. I love to do TPR as soon as I'm introducing the vocabulary. That way, later on, I can use the TPR, my student can use the TPR, and it just really helps to lock it in for them. Okay, so I underlined it on the screen, and then I'm like, hey, look at my mouth. Panda. Listen. Panda. I like to mouth it too. Panda. Good job, Nava. You want to do things usually 3 times, okay, for repetition. So you would say that. You can change the tone or the speed. You could say Panda. The main thing is just to have repetition with your student. The more interesting you make it, the better. And then they're not thinking that every time they want to say panda, they have to say it the same way, right? Because Chinese is very tone-based. So if you're always saying it the same way, they might not recognize it another way or know that they can say it another way. So anyway, so I introduced it, I used TPR, and then I used a prop. If you do not have a panda, that's perfectly fine. You can print a panda off of your computer. You can draw a panda. You really don't have to have a panda. It's just a nice idea to have one. It helps link things together. So anyway, I have my panda, and then I bring this in, right? And I didn't have it circled yet or underlined, but to make this clearer to my student, I go, panda starts with, so I'm doing starts with P, right? Panda starts with P. And this is something that Nava and I like to do. You definitely don't have to draw it out, but starts with, it's like, oh, starts with, like that. They can tell that's the first letter, right? Okay, so I like to have this prop as well. And I like to do it the same way with the next couple slides too. So anyway, the main thing on this slide, besides getting your student to say panda, is those target sentences that you see at the bottom. So what sound does panda start with? Panda starts with P. So it's not enough just to say the word panda a few times. You have to get your student using those sentences. I know some people like to use puppets, so you could even do something like this and model it, What sound does panda start with? Panda starts with P, right? If you wanted to use a puppet. Again, if you're nervous about props, keep them, to a minimum. You definitely want to have at least 3 different types of props, but you don't need to be juggling them. You're not a circus act. Okay, moving on. Okay, so I'm doing slide 6 and slide 7 right in a row for you, so you can see about how much time I spend on each one and what type of transition or lack thereof that I use, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to do it the same way that I did the panda slide. So TPR, repetition, prop, and then getting that target sentence. Okay, let's get started. 3, 2, 1. Underline. Pepper. 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 Good, Nava. Nava. Ah! Pepper. Pepper. Good job. Nava, what sound does pepper start with? What sound does pepper start with? Good, Nava. Pepper starts with P. Good job! Wow! Again, what sound does pepper start with? Pepper starts with P. Wow! Great job, Nava! Click to slide number 7. Underline. Pig. Oh, wait, I want to do my TPR. I had a marker in my hand. So, underline pig. 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 Very good. Hi, pig. Hi, pig. Hi, Nava. Nava. What sound does pig start with? What sound does pig start with? pig starts with? Wow, Nava, good job! Again. What sound does pig start with? Pig starts with P. Yes, Nava, great job! You are so clever. You get a popsicle. Popsicle. Great job, Nava. Okay, so to recap, I just did slide 6 and slide 7. You could see that I underline it on the screen. Okay, so I underline the word pepper or I underline the word pig, and then I do TPR as I'm saying it. And you really want to encourage your student to do the TPR with you. It's only true TPR if you get your student to do it too. So I like to get up close and personal, right? Maybe a little too close for comfort, but I like to get up close. And if my student is not doing the TPR, I will do something like this. Like, let's say that I just did, pepper, pepper, and my student's just pepper, right? I want my student to get more involved than that. So I'll get up closer. Oh, Nava, pepper, right? And usually my student will realize at that point, oh, she wants me to use my hand too. So use your student's name, get up close and personal. You can use a doll hand or something if you want. Again, you may not have time to go into that much detail, but you should try to get your student involved, okay? So I underlined the word, I did TPR, and just as a side note, I like to try to make my TPR match the syllables. Now, if this is just too much to take in, you can ignore me for the next few seconds. But like, for example, I like to do panda, right? I could even do panda if I wanted to. And then pepper, right? Like, I'm eating a pepper. Wow, that's spicy. Pepper. Okay, so we do the TPR. We say the word a few different ways, like 3 times for repetition. And then I'm using that visual, right? So I am asking my student, what sound does pepper start with? And it's kind of fun to use this, right? It makes the kids laugh. So anyway, you could even show them like this. That'd be kind of funny. But I just happen to have a skinny pepper like this. I don't think it would have the same effect with a bell pepper. Anyway, I digress. So you want to be using some type of prop to help your student. Again, remember, when you are spelling things out or trying to show reading on the screen, you are doing right hand first. Right is right, okay? So anytime you're spelling or blending, use your right hand first. It will flip it in the classroom for you, okay? So again, I was sure to use those target sentences. What sound does pepper start with? Pepper starts with P, okay? You can do that P if you think that's going to help your student. Okay, so that was slide 6, pepper, and slide 7, pig. And have some fun with the pig one, right? Get up close. Get up close, make your student laugh. If you're doing some kind of eating related reward, that's a fun way to introduce or use the pig. You can say hi to your student with the pig, have your student say hi, have your student introduce himself or herself. Knock yourself out, but just don't run over your time. If you run over your time by a little bit, usually that's fine. The most important thing is that you are getting your student to use the target sentences and that you are adapting for your student. And if you hear your student make mistakes, it's very, very important that you correct your student right away. But correct your student in a positive way. I've helped a lot of people who I guess just out of nervousness or something, they laugh when their student makes a mistake. Try not to laugh. Of course, you want it to be lighthearted, but let's say your student said piga. I wouldn't go, ha, no, it's pig, right? No. I hear my students say piga. Good. Pig. Pig. Right? So I'm trying to model correctly and then positively reinforce. And once my student does a good job, I say, great job, Nava. You are so clever. Some kind of praise using the student's name. As promised, we covered slides 1 through 7 in this video. You can either take a break, maybe practice a little bit, and then join me in section 2. Or if you're excited and you're on a roll, go ahead and click on section 2 so you can see slides 8 through 12. I'll see you there.